Hello and welcome to another episode of Can I Make 20%? Now, I wasn't planning on putting this video out today because I wasn't planning on having this order today. I was going to put out a video about tax, and I was going to put the next video about Diary of a Gold Coin Dealer. Those videos will come, but this one's kind of like a bonus video. Now, this is just two orders. I bought these from the Kent Auction Galleries down in Folkestone. It's not an auctioneer that I use often. I actually only won one lot. They only had, I think, 3 or 4 lots up, and I thought, they look like there could be a bit of money in those. The second lot, a gentleman went against his bidding. He said he made a mistake on the bidding. I think that's a very poor form. Personally, I think if you do that, you should be barred from it. If you're not a man of your word, then, you know. But not everyone operates like me. In terms of how much I paid, so I'm in these two lots for, I'll just show you because I scribbled it down. I actually cocked the number up there. I went, no, for 397.64 pence. So at spot of 140, I need to find 284.02 silver grams. That's net grams. So let's get into it. Unfortunately, this, which I penciled in as 50-50, is Cooper nickel. I've already checked it. It was just on the top, so I thought I'll check it already. Let's get into it. So I think we're going to do okay here. The bulk of it is silver. There's very little copper. I'll take, well, there's no point taking all the copper out. I'll just take the bulk of it out and I'll go for it. And then, as per usual, I will put the pre-47. Oh, there's some 40% in there as well. There's some Swedish silver. I'll put the 47 on one side, or pre-47 on one side, sorry. And I'll put the pre-20 on another side, and hopefully we should have enough to have 20%. I know there's some American 90% in there as well, maybe 2 or 3 coins. We shall see. Okay, that's the bulk of it. So that's at the copper pot. It's about 100 grams. Fantastic. 80 pence. Right, we've got, for starters, 2 American coins. Sweet. 64 and a Walking Liberty. That's in good nick, actually. Cool. That's worth a bit of a premium. Saying that, I usually sell these for a premium anyway. I once had a gentleman say to me, he's like, oh, he wanted a discount, and I went, okay. And then he's like, well, you're not going to bring it down to spot if I buy a lot. And I was thinking, well, you're only wanting, I think it's about £800 at a time. I really like that. And like, what we're talking, he said, well, I can buy it for scrap. And I went, no, you can't. Stop lying. Well, no, I didn't call him a liar. Maybe that's a bit harsh, but I was like, I'm very dubious of that. Maybe you've had the odd lot in the past. And then he was like, oh, I've been trading like 40 odd years. And I was like, okay. Sounds right. Yep. I'm just pretty shocked at that. Okay. So yeah, like sometimes you just have to stand on business and be like, I've learned to become certainly more questioning of some people. Not everyone. Like some people that are like me, you can read them like a book, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so that's non-silver. This is non-silver. This is 45. This is aluminium. Oh, no one. I do collect these. I said in a prior video, I've got a pot for these. I don't expect this video to be super long, by the way. Just one for the road. Non-silver. 29. 43. 21. Mercury dime, 90%. Okay, that's pre-47. This, when I looked at the picture, I thought was silver, and then I couldn't work this out. the circle, because usually when you've got coins like this, you're thinking, oh, is it Indian? Is it maybe Canadian? Jamaican. It's Cooper nickel. I think it's collectible. I've got a pot for the coins that they might be collectible, they might not. Oh, another penny, a bit more copper. This is just a non-silver dime, if it picks up on camera. I don't mind getting them. 1902. 44. 46. I can't believe, well, actually I can believe spot's still rising, but it's, where's it going to stop? That's the question. So I'm not going to come under spot for the coins because I think it will go higher. Now, if I thought it would go lower, it would be a different matter. There's more given the price. You've always got to judge that accordingly, though. It genuinely feels like something's afoot in the markets. I read somewhere about the bullion banks having to implement a breaker to stop selling. I don't know how true that is or to what level. That's non-silver. You know, if it's true that they've had to stop buying, it shows that the paper market facade is, the mask is slipping, isn't it? And that might not necessarily be a bad thing. This is non-silver quarter. I don't think that would be the end of the world if some common sense prevailed. We shall see though. Markets can remain irrational for a long time. That's non-silver. 21. There's a lot of pre-47 here. 21. That's pre-20. Pre-20. Ah, touch. Not the best condition, but I collect these. I think I'm up to about 10 of them now. I haven't sold any of them. I'm not sure I will sell them. I just like them as a coin. Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of pre-47. It all adds up. We'll see at the end how much we've got. This, I don't even know what it is. Unfortunately, this is going to go on the non-silver pile. I don't know. Could be anything, you know. I'll put that in with the tokens. It's not a problem. 42, 45. In terms of like talking about the tax, what a week we've had in British politics. Is this silver? I know these come in silver. I'd have to double check that. I'll do that after the fact though. It doesn't feel silver, but I have had them in silver. So yeah, it's been absolutely crazy for the British political scene. This is 50%. I think we've got to the point in the UK where people genuinely are starting to get a bit militant. Check that. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I think it's just a reflection of where we're at. One moment, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. I think people have just, they're not prepared to accept it from people who are just not aligned with their own situation anymore. And I think that's a fair comment, you know. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm doing better than the average person. You know, that does come with privileges. That's fine, I accept that. But I'm not telling people to do one thing and doing something else, or lying to people. You know, I have good months, I have bad months, but I think the level of sleaze involved in this government it's absolutely insane. 5-cent coin. And I think that's where people they're starting to really get angry, you know, and you can almost sense it. You can only carry on like that so long before something has to give. Right. And I think that's only right, you know, as a taxpayer. You know, all you want is a good standard of living. You want to feel safe, and you want the streets to be clean. You know, you want to be able to go see a doctor, but in the UK it's a bit of a postcode lottery depending on which of those you get. There's a ton of the 47s. Right. Absolute ton of it. I don't know about this, you know. Could get caught short on this. If it happens, it happens. It's okay. I can say that because I know what's coming in, and I've had some absolutely monster wins over the past week. Okay, yeah, 47. I don't think I'm going to be anywhere near on this one. Dear oh dear. Yeah, to go back to the situation with the tax. So I was reading somewhere, so I was listening to a podcast, and they were saying that the Chancellor lied about the fiscal deficit. And I just thought, surely that's an act of treason. Like, surely. Like that's insane. That's absolutely insane. It won't, and this is the problem in the UK, like, it won't get prosecuted or resolved because it never does. There seems to be one rule for them and one rule for us. I've always stated that we have a class problem in the UK rather than a race problem, although I do think that has changed somewhat. Right. Oh, that is changing somewhat. I don't think we're going to break even on this. If we don't, it's okay. Right, that's Greek. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of the Swedish was. That's not Swedish. They're quite quaint little coins, but I'm pretty sure all of this is 40%. Yeah, 57. Right, it's easy just to check the latest one. So 1957, 10 aura. I don't remember the 10 aura coins when I lived in Sweden. Numismatic. No, it's not that one. That's too early. Yes, they're billion. 4.4. There's next to no weight on them though. It's this is where I've been let down. I was kind of hoping that some of the quarters, so there's 4 quarters, none of them were silver. That's okay. $37. These are going to be, yep. Yeah, I don't think we got it today. So these are all, let's take this off. I think when you're dealing with buying and selling, yeah, these are all no good. I'll say no good, pre-47. When you're dealing with buying and selling, you've got to factor in that sometimes it's just not gonna go your way. But equally, so I bought a lot the other day. I'm in it for 110. It's probably worth about 300 quid all in all. So can I complain? For me, if I can minimize the losses and maximize the upside, it smooths out over the course of a year. I'm just checking this, by the way. 3p. Okay, this is 925. Take that. This is 50%, but I'm just going to double check it. 946 shilling. All right, let's see how badly I got my arse kicked today. 50%. Okay. Right. Dear, oh dear. Right, 0.9. Let's work this one out. So we've got to get, what was it, 284 grams. We're going to be nowhere near it, but it's okay. So you're on 27.37 equals, all right, calculator. $27.37 times 0.9, 24 and 63. There is a couple banknotes in there I will show you in a bit. All right, that's one. This is the 925. 38.9. So 38.9. So we've got 35.98 grams. Might take a bit of a kick in today. Oh dear, oh dear. We need, what, 400 grams of this? That ain't gonna happen. Nowhere near. fact, we need more than 400 grams. Right. Bum, bum, bum. If we do all the small coins first, it will just be a lot easier to stack it. I was kind of hoping that there'd be some 925, but clearly there wasn't any. So, right, so that's 201.9. .5, 201.9. So you've got 100 and 100.9. 100.95. The only thing about the smaller coins, they're so fiddly. It's just a bit of a pain. Okay, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So 204.43 from that bag. So you're looking at 102 and 21. 102.21 grams. And we still got a few left. Are we going to break even? Maybe. Maybe we will. It's not great for the VAT, but it might not be a loss. Cost 78 and 33. Talk about get out of jail free card there. So that puts us at 35, 39 and 16. And then we've got the 4 tiny Swedish coins. I'll weigh them, but I'm going to put them in a separate pot because I don't think I'll get enough of them to kind of stack up. 5.82. I should know that, it's not a difficult calculation, but I'll use the calculator. So 5.82. For 2.32. So let's tally it up. We've got 40%, 2.32 grams. We've got 50%. We've got 39.16, 102.21, 100.95, the 0.9, so the 90%, we've got 24.63, and the 925, we've got 35 and 98. Right, let's see if I've gotten out of jail on this one. Plus 102.21. 100.95 plus 24.63. 35 and 98. So we needed 284 grams. Have I added that up wrong? Yeah, I have. One moment. Right. 2.32 plus 39.16 plus 102.21 plus 100.95 plus 24.63 plus 35.98. Right, so we needed to go back to, we did 284 and 2 grams. We've actually ended up with 305 and 25. So if we do that at spot times 1.4 we've ended up with 427.35. So it's not been a great order. That's okay. You know, it's a token profit. It will even out over the course of a long time. So there's going to be orders where you're going to make 50, 100%. It's going to be orders where you're making a smaller amount, and there will be orders where you're going to be losing money. I haven't included in, it's got $1. And also show you the notes. I don't really know what these are worth. I need to do some digging, but one is this one's got a massive tear in it. Is this worth anything? I don't know, maybe a quid or two. And I don't know what this is, so British Linen Bank. I don't know if it's worth any money. It's not something that I've seen before. It was just kind of an add-on. So yeah, that's it for today. The answer is no, I didn't make 20%. And that's okay. You know, you take the good, the bad, and you just hope over the long run that it smooths out to a number that is acceptable. Anyway, take care guys. Bye.